Well, the general election is pretty well set at this point. Off with a bang. Former President Donald Trump and the incumbent, or incompetent, however you'd like to look at it, Joe Biden. Now the de facto nominees of their respective political parties. As we discussed at the top of the hour, President Biden is sure to use his State of the Union address to try to list the reasons that his opponent is the boogeyman and how the two men's visions for America couldn't be any different. What I expect tonight, a lot of gaslighting, don't you? Biden's going to stick to a script for all of this. We know how trouble he's in. He's going to talk, the border's secure, the Bidenomics is working, all of that. Donald Trump taking a true social now to challenge Joe to something even harder. He's calling on the president to debate him now. Debate me, Joe. Trump says he's willing to take even a stage provided by the corrupt DNC. And I can tell you right now, if Biden ever stands on a stage with Donald Trump, it'll be, well, it won't be good for Joe. Join me live to discuss this. Senior Advisor to the Trump campaign, Bruce Levell. Bruce, nice to see you again.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks for having me.
Glad to have you. Look, Super Tuesday went as we expected, and then Nikki Haley got out of the race, so that cleaned up the clutter. A couple of minor Democrats whose names I don't even know, they also got out of the way, so here we are. It's the anticipated matchup. It's Trump v. Biden round 2. And right now, you look at the polls, Bruce. Donald Trump is winning everywhere, and when you put in people like Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and the rest, Donald Trump's victory becomes even larger. More importantly are the 7 swing states, of which I don't think Georgia should even be on the list anymore, because Georgia, because of the tragedy there, it's going to go deep, dark red. How do you see the race today?
Well, I see the momentum keep going, and obviously in President Trump's favor, which is the America First movement. And, listen, speaking of the State of the Union, Steve, if he pulls out some ice cream, I'm going to scream. I'm going to scream, Steve. Look, he's going to gaslight. He's going to pander.
Absolutely.
He's going to spin the auto workers and all the good stuff, I'm sure. But I would be remiss if he would even mention the terrible tragedy here, right up the road here, 40 minutes from my home, where my family went to the University of Georgia, which, I don't know if that would even come up, which I doubt it very much will.
I doubt that'll come up. But we had a little bit of fun there at Joe Biden's expense. Why not? We're going to laugh or we're going to cry. I have to give a little shout out here to my friends over at Daily Caller. They put out a bingo card. If you guys don't have this yet, you should have one before the State of the Union tonight. Yelling at inappropriate times, someone caught sleeping, slurred speech, I'm serious. It's the bingo card from Daily. I give them a nice call out for that. Get it, have fun watching the speech tonight. Yeah, I mean, look. Yeah. He can't do anything but gaslight. Look, the southern border is a disaster. There's no way around that, Bruce. Laken Riley is just the face of what has happened there. Bidenomics, they won't even use the term anymore. Bidenomics is the worst PR campaign, second worst ever. The first one, came from Bud Light. We know how that turned out. Look, they don't have anything they can point to and say, well, at least we're doing good here. This was really successful. They've got nothing except to try to scare the hell out of the voters. Oh, Donald Trump's a bad man. He's going to end democracy. He'll never leave the White House. And all this talk about conspiracy theorists. Yeah. Good Lord, these people need to check their medication, right?
Yeah. Well, I do know one thing. I'm sure their comms team and their team are praying that he stays right on the teleprompter and do not waver from it. I know they probably highlighted or made it a little enlarged text so he could see very well. And they're playing, Joe, please do not deviate from that. Stay on point of the teleprompter. The interesting thing too, Steve, in terms of timing, in terms of the days where his cognitive skills might be a little more robust than others, I rest assured that they're timing this based on the rest, based on the B12 shots, if you could use in those terms, and maybe some other things that we probably don't know about.
Maybe a little bit more in that cocktail, Bruce, but go on.
There you go, Steve. I tried not to do it, but you brought it up.
It's not exactly a secret that amphetamines might be part of the cocktail. All right? I mean, it's not a secret. There's a lot of reports from inside the White House. Oh, you're a conspiracy theorist, Gruber. No, come on. The guy's 81 years old. He was never that bright to begin with. Let's call a spade a spade. Can we do that here today, please? I mean, honestly.
Yeah. Yeah, but on the other note, I'm praying that we do get to the point of the debates. I'm with that. It's going to be a different game here. I love the fact that when we did Hofstra in St. Louis, University of St. Louis, Missouri, and Vegas with Hillary and President Trump. Those were phenomenal times of great debates. So I hope we can get there. I don't know if he'll make it, but I'd love to, because I worked all three of those spin rooms and I had a phenomenal
Well, here's
time.
what I would say. The American people expect debates from their presidential candidates. It's not like it's optional, Bruce. They expect it to happen. And if you don't do it, it was one thing to hide during COVID. They even did debates then. What's your excuse now? Oh, Donald Trump's mean, and he'll lie. So we can't go out there because he's just going to lie. So we can't. I mean, I've got it all figured out how they're going to do it. Oh, he's just not to be trusted, and he'll say things that aren't true. Anyhow, I'll give you the last word here today.
Well, on that, thanks, Steve. I really think now, last time we had to deal with certain news media propped up and protected Joe. And the other networks outside this great network, a lot of them are failing. So they're really going to have to step up, whoever gets to do these debates, and not throw the softballs or try to protect Joe. Because let's be honest, MSNBC, CNN, all these other networks, they're failing miserably. So if they keep continuing with this protection and this softball stuff that they like to play with, I don't see any growth or any sustainability of staying alive for any of those networks. So I think they all going to be on point. And a lot of the media is like, look, we can't stop keep doing this. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong.
And there's a couple of ways to check on how well Donald Trump's doing. You just turn on MSNBC. If Nicole Wallace's hair is on fire and so is Rachel Maddow's, if their hair's just on, then Donald Trump's doing well. Bruce, greatly appreciate you being here, my friend.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve.
All right, talk soon. There you have it. AMAC is the Association of Mature American Citizens. I'm not that mature today, but I'm doing my best. An organization who's not only dedicated to America's seniors, but is vital for conservatives of all ages. AMAC stands out by not only advocating for senior issues, but also pushing for conservative values that affect all of us. By joining, you're not just supporting our senior citizens, you're part of a movement defending our freedoms, securing our nation's future. Plus, membership brings you exclusive benefits like discounts on travel, dining, entertainment, and special insurance rates, too. Regardless of your age, if you're driven to preserve freedom, AMAC welcomes you. This is about uniting youthful vigor with the wisdom of experience in our quest for conservative principles. Sign up right now at amac.us/voice. And for a limited time, get a free gift membership for someone who shares your love for our great nation. Don't miss out on this chance to make a difference with AMAC. Join today, amac.us/voice, and extend the invitation to a friend or family member for free. The gift of liberty. Coming up after the break, as communities along the southern border struggle with a massive influx of illegals, one thing is bringing them together. Faith, my friends, faith. We'll talk about it coming up on AVL.